Hello and welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host JT and you're watching Black Box Trading. All right, just as we suspected, just as we predicted, exactly as predicted, we got our pullback back to the 272, the Fibonacci 272. We got the bounce off the 272, which indicated to us that the bulls are in control. Long story short, I don't care how you're doing your TA, whether you're using moving averages, MACD, whether you're using pure price action, volume analysis, the bulls are in control. The bulls have not created that full-on breakout yet, and we haven't seen a new all-time high, but all signs point towards the order books being stacked with bids, and they are not being stacked with asks. We have more demand than we do supply. What happens when we have more demand than we do supply? Number go up. Bitcoin is number go up technology. The Fed is printing money. The powers that be are creating silliness in our world, and we're gonna head up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head up. So let's get some visuals going here. Let's take a look at the king of all crypto. That is Bitcoin. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about on the last stream that we were on, we talked about the Fibonacci levels, which I don't usually do. We talk about these Fibonaccis. You got the 0.272 Fibonacci retracements, not extensions, the Fibonacci retracements, the 272, the 382, the 5, and the 618. And I told you my thesis on how I use Fibonacci retracements. A lot of people think that these are just zones where you pull back to. The most common one that people talk about is the 618, the 0.618 retracement level. And I said that that's kind of the weakest level. That's not what you want to see. If you want to know that the bulls are actually in control, what you're looking for is a bounce off the 272. That is the most bullish case scenario that you could be looking at. When you bounce off the 272, that means very, very high demand. The bulls are not going to wait for lower prices. They are happy to take higher price retracements. 382 is also bullish, but not as bullish as the 272. The 0.5 is where it's kind of neutral and expected, and there's, you know, it's a good retracement zone to take a position. And the 618 is, yes, a value zone, but it's not indicating that the bulls are actually in control, and it likely indicates that more sideways price action is due. But lucky for us, boom, we have bounced off the 272. We have broken out of this downward sloping line of resistance. We have closed a daily candle close above that level, and we are probably going to close another daily candle probably above this high right here. Let's mark it down. I think we're going to take out this high right here at 110,617 for the daily candle close. This in about 8 hours and 9 minutes, that will close, in my opinion, above that level. That will signal to the market all-time high break. If we close even $1 above 110,617, we will get our all-time high break. Now, real quickly, if you guys missed the last live stream where we talked about the perfect scenario that I'd be looking for would be that bounce off the 272. Here is that recap right now. For me, the most perfect breakout of this consolidation, because we are talking about the context of a breakout, I'm expecting a breakout of this consolidation. If we pulled back to the 200, which is the Fibonacci 272, and then broke out, that's a strong signal to me, because that's telling me that we retested this big long automatic rally. Anyways, you get the point, you get the picture. And we tested the 272. You've done your part. Yeah, I mean, it's clean, ladies and gentlemen. It's clean. We're looking good. This is very likely the beginning of the next impulse high. And in the prior show, we talked about that impulse high getting us to a price target around $140 to $150, even $160,000 for the next level of the consolidation. My projections for this cycle are much higher than $160,000, which seems counterintuitive to what a lot of people seem to. It's counter to the dominant narrative right now. There are many people who think that this cycle will end at around $150,000. Mind-boggling to me that you would be so bearish on this cycle with all of the fundamentals of Bitcoin demand coming to fruition. And this cycle, I know it's, never say this time is different, but there is a difference in this cycle in the sense that last cycle was a very futures and derivatives driven market, which is fine. You can totally have a good bull market in a futures and derivatives bull market because all the liquidations get settled on the spot market. But this cycle is fundamentally different in the sense that we're seeing ETFs and we're seeing Bitcoin treasury companies. Now, both of those are direct influence, a direct demand. What's the word? They are buying on the spot markets. The spot market is how you move price. You will not move price on the futures market. If you buy a futures contract, it does nothing for the spot market until you are proven wrong and you are liquidated, and then it is settled on the spot market. But with an ETF, if somebody buys an ETF, you've created spot demand. If somebody is buying a Bitcoin treasury company and the Bitcoin treasury has another fundraise and they buy more Bitcoin, you've created spot demand for that market. So I believe that this cycle is going to be very similar to what we saw in 2017, because 2017 was a spot driven market cycle. Now, and it's funnily enough too, because that's also when Trump took office. So Trump took office and we had this massive bull market, and it was a spot driven bull market, spot altcoins. This was kind of your ICO bubble, your ICO mania. Derivatives were around. BitMEX was around. There was futures contracts, but it wasn't mainstream like it is now. So, last cycle, it was a very retail driven market, but derivatives were so prevalent and futures contracts were so prevalent that it was very easy to create paper Bitcoin. And as a result, in my opinion, I've maintained this for years, I felt that last cycle was a stifled cycle. I felt that last cycle did not reach the potential that I thought it could have. We should have been at 100K last cycle, but we didn't because of paper Bitcoin. Now, I'm not saying that there's no paper Bitcoin this cycle. There absolutely is, because the settlement with the ETFs is not instantaneous. But I think that, you can only kick the can down the road so long. Like with an ETF, every week you got to buy Bitcoin. If you have a ton of demand, they're regulated products. It would be illegal for them not to go to the spot market and purchase and back their ETFs, at least on a weekly basis. There has to be some sort of a settlement process. So anyways, that's what I'm thinking. So let's just play pretend here. Let's say we did get a Trump-like cycle. Where are we right now? Let's say we just started July. July was kind of this acceleration. Let's pull some candles here. Excuse me. July. So we'll pull from July to the all-time high. Let's bring that over to our world over here. July to the all-time high brings us to about 500,000, almost 600,000. If we do it pound for pound, which ain't too bad. We do have some Fibonacci extensions here as well, some noteworthy levels where I think this cycle could conclude. The bears are calling for 150. The first Fibonacci at the 786 is at 176,000. A more realistic target, in my opinion, is at around 342,000, with a more bullish target at around 793,000. Now that more bullish target is if we see a Bitcoin treasury bull market, where a Bitcoin treasury mania phase, where every dying stock in the world, if you're a shitty stock that's just not doing anything, you adopt a Bitcoin treasury, and there's a mania flywheel that comes with that. I honestly do think that is a high probability outcome for this market cycle. So I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin at $750,000, around that $800,000 level, with extended targets going above $1 million. I know that sounds fucking crazy. I know that sounds crazy. But hey, I'm crazy. Fuck it. You can listen to me or you can not. I've been right with every macro move basically since 2018. We have been right with our indicators with every macro move. People often underestimate the upside. People often underestimate the downside when it comes to Bitcoin. And we're usually pretty close to the lows and pretty close to the highs. All right. I keep thinking, let's just catch up with the chat here. YOLO Thrill, welcome to the chat. Good morning. Baloo. Oh, we got an OG in the chat referring to me as Baloo. I keep thinking, MG says, I keep thinking a lot of the ETF inflows are just long-term holders moving their stacks into the ETF, probably calling BlackRock and selling OTC to buy shares. Basically doesn't move price. 100%. You are correct. The ETF inflows, I don't know if it's necessarily OGs. OGs are a different breed, believe me. Any of the OGs that I know certainly aren't buying a fucking ETF. They are cypherpunk. They are crypto anarchists. These are people that adopted Bitcoin under the ethos of fuck the state. So I'm sure there's those that did. There's those that aren't as hardcore crypto anarchists, but the vast majority of the OGs that I know fall under the category of fuck Wall Street, fuck the state, unconfiscatable money, untouchable money, and they have all of the skill set that they need for full and secure self-custody. So I would personally be surprised if a majority of that liquidity was going over there. But to your point on OTC, 100%, the BlackRock and the rest of these ETFs, they are acquiring Bitcoin right now, OTC, which does not move the market. You are 100% correct on that. This is kind of hard for people to understand. This is a concept that people really struggle with, and it's unfortunate that it's so hard for people to comprehend this concept, because people think that money in equals price go up, and it's not. It doesn't work like that. I was just yesterday listening to the Simply Bitcoin podcast, and people were, they were talking about the price of Bitcoin doubling to 200, and people in the chat were like, well, where's the $2 trillion going to come from? Guys, it doesn't take $2 trillion to double the market cap of Bitcoin. The price of anything in this world, work with me here. The price of anything in this world, whether it is a glass of water, whether it is a camera that I'm filming on, whether it is an iPad, whether it is an iPhone, whether it is an apple, an orange, anything in this world is worth as much as somebody else is willing to pay for that item. That is market dynamics. Now, once you've decided on price, meaning the last price that was paid, once you've decided what the last price paid is, you look at the supply of that thing and you determine the market cap of that thing. Market cap in crypto is actually really dumb. It makes no fucking sense whatsoever. What's the market cap of the Canadian dollar? Sure, you can, do some math and figure it out, but who cares? Who gives a shit what the market cap of the Canadian dollar is? If you're in Canada, you're using the Canadian dollars. No single Canadian has ever said, oh, you shouldn't use the Canadian dollar because it's trading at 20 times its valuation. Like that sentence doesn't make sense. Why we focus on market cap is beyond me. It's the only way that I can think of it is there's just so much similarity with the user experience between Bitcoin, crypto, and stocks, purely from a user experience point of view. Robinhood's a good example. You go on your phone, you're buying some Tesla, you're buying some Apple, buy some Bitcoin. And so we've adopted this mindset to look into market cap, but it's completely pointless. When you are valuing a company, you look at the market cap of the stock and you compare that to the earnings of the company. That's the price to earnings ratio, the PE ratio. That makes perfect sense. You need to know how much more of a premium or a discount a stock, a share in a company is trading based off of the actual ability for that company to make money is. So market cap in the context of a stock makes perfect sense. It makes zero sense when you are talking about a currency. It makes zero sense when you are talking about a communications protocol. And furthermore, you don't need to even reference that because it's not a pound for pound move. For Bitcoin to go to $200,000, you do not need $2 trillion worth of capital. You could get away with $100 billion worth of capital. If you have 100x multiplier on the price of Bitcoin, the last price paid is the last price paid. Let me use an extreme example to really drill this point home. This is a very extreme example, but this is exactly how market cap works, okay? So just play along. Obviously, what I'm saying would never happen, but let me just get this point across. Let's pretend that everybody in the world just decides today, every single person who holds Bitcoin, all the Bitcoin available on the planet is not for sale. It's not for sale. But there's one person that is selling one Satoshi, and he is selling that one Satoshi for 10 cents. And somebody in the world pays 10 cents for that one Satoshi. With that transaction completing, Bitcoin is worth $10 million a coin because the last price paid is $10 million. So Bitcoin is currently at 109. If everybody in the world decides, no, Bitcoin's not for sale, and there's one guy in the world who is selling one Satoshi, and somebody buys that Satoshi for 10 cents, the market cap of Bitcoin goes to whatever the market cap would be for it to be worth $10 million, even though only 10 cents went into Bitcoin. Now, obviously that would never happen. And what I'm talking about is a very extreme example. But if we bring it back to realistic terms, if a lot of people are willing to hold on to their Bitcoin and a lot of demand comes into the market where people are really willing to pay a higher price for this thing, Bitcoin, you don't need $2 trillion to get to add $2 trillion worth of market cap. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know if you need more clarification, but I feel like, anyways, we'll leave it there. Let's go back into Bitcoin here. So yeah, Bitcoin, what am I expecting in the short term? I think that we're just gearing up. We've got another 8 hours before this candle closes on the daily. I do think that this will resolve to the upside within that 8 hours. We are breaking below the 7 currently with a good amount of supply coming in. So it could take 2 days before we break the 110,617 level on a daily candle close. But I'm pretty bullish on the price of Bitcoin right now, so I wouldn't be surprised to see us break above that before today's candle closes through. If we do break above that level of 110,681 here on the index chart, or sorry, 617 on the index chart, by today's close, that will be a very, very strong signal that the next candle, tomorrow's candle, will be an all-time high break candle. So whether we are going to break the all-time high tomorrow or whether we are going to break the all-time high the next day, by this weekly candle close, I'm expecting an all-time high break. Let's take a look at the weekly. The weekly, so beautiful phantom signal. We get these signals. These are massively powerful signals. Every phantom signal does come with a dip. We've got the dip. We are now moving above the phantom signal. The last phantom signal that we had right here, we got the phantom signal, we got the dip. And after that dip was over, it went into a large impulse acceleration to a high of 60%, a 60% move from that level. So if we did a 60% move from here, we have a lot of confluence up at that 160 level. We did the fib extension. Yeah, 174. 174. Guys, this is not out of the realm of possibility. Like, Bitcoin could be ready to fucking double right now. For the rest of the summer, Bitcoin can go into up only, where it doubles, and then by the winter I think we can continue even higher, and this could set us up for, you know, a Santa Claus rally or something where we come into the new year and Bitcoin could rally into Q1 or even Q2 of next year. Maybe we get a rally that goes to sell in May and go away of next year. It's entirely possible. We got to play it step by step, but yeah, Bitcoin is gearing up for a big move. Do not be surprised, do not be shocked, and I hope to God that you are not sidelined. I hope that you are long and strong like the rest of us in the community here, and that you're ready for higher levels. If you don't believe it, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what else you need to look at to be bullish on the price of Bitcoin. It's clear as day. All right, let's move on to the S&P. Like, it's rallying. It's going up. We broke all-time highs. Blue sky breakout, the highest price of the S&P ever. We will continue higher. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Same story. Higher. We go higher. Across the board, we're going higher. Everything is going up. Every asset price is going up. Now, the downside to that is, you know, inflation will also go up. Prices of gas will go up. Price of cars will go up. Price of your rent will go up. Price of everything will go up. But the good news is asset prices are going up. Nothing stops this train. Let's take a look at the DXY. This is the dollar index. Finding support here at the bottom of this multi-year channel. This channel was established at the beginning of the great financial crisis. This is a very, very significant channel. If we lose this level, guys, it's pretty much as simple as that for me. You know, we can talk about all these different metrics. We can create theories as to how things are going to play out. Is it going to be a Bitcoin treasury company mania? Are we going to see every country adopt Bitcoin as a currency? We can speculate on the narratives all that we want, but for me, if we fall out of this channel, if the dollar falls out of this channel, Bitcoin's going to $1 million fucking this cycle, or damn near it. I mean, we'll call it $1 million, but it could be 700, 800, 900. Does it really matter at that point? We're going to much, much higher levels if we break out of this channel. Now, if we don't and we bounce, well, then that's more conservative. That's more, you know, now we're looking at the $300,000 or the $200,000 Bitcoin, you know, and that's still nothing to shake a stick at. That's a good return. That's something that we're very happy about, considering that most of the people that are in my private group got into Bitcoin at $18,000, $20,000. So, you know, to do a beautiful 10x like that on your portfolio on the big biddy is a good thing. But if we break below this, oh man, the floodgates will open. If we fall out of this channel, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You know, for day-to-day life, like your friends, family, and neighbors who don't have Bitcoin, for their sake, you actually want to see us bounce here. And you'll be fine because Bitcoin will be at $200,000-$300,000 a coin. Okay, that's cool. And people won't get completely fucking wrecked by inflation. If we break below this, I mean, you'll be a happy camper. But at the same time, you're going to look at your friends, you're going to look at your family, you're going to look at the state of your country, and you're going to be like, fuck, these assholes, these piece of shit, greedy pigs, these manipulators, these fucking ruthless politicians have really hurt people. So it will be a double-edged sword. So, you know, it's like The Big Short. You know that scene from The Big Short when Brad Pitt is telling the two guys who are winning big on their short, don't fucking dance. Don't fucking dance. Like, it's not a good thing. It really isn't a good thing. Now, fundamentally speaking, what the government is doing to everybody is not a good thing, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you slice it. But the speed at which the government is hurting people is a factor. And, you know, until people can wake up on their own, it would be better that they wake up without them having to lose so much. But, you know, the other side of that, too, is maybe they need a lot of pain and they need to start asking questions to realize that fiat money is well and truly a scam, and that the only solution to fix their life and fix the world is to fix the money. And, you know, many of the people who watch this show already know what the solution to that question is. We have the solution. We have fixed the money. It is Bitcoin. Bitcoin fixes this. So I don't know, just whatever you do, don't dance. That's all I can say. What about this just being a sailor-led BTC rally? Alts bear market lows, bear divs on the weekly into the 786 to 866 fibs with declining volume. Daily exchanges volume is at an all-time low. Also, Chris, can you reword this? I'm struggling to figure out what the question is here. What about this just being a sailor-led Bitcoin rally? Well, who cares who's causing the rally? The only people that care about that is people who don't have a high enough allocation to Bitcoin. Your portfolio should be mostly Bitcoin. I'm not just speaking to you, Chris. I'm speaking to everybody. Like, I don't care how good the altcoin sounds. I really don't. Like, I don't care how much better the altcoin is than Bitcoin. Even if it is, you still have to hedge your own. You have to hedge against yourself. So let's pretend, we'll just use XRP as an example. Let's pretend you're one of those individuals that believes that XRP is the future and XRP is going to beat Bitcoin by every measure. You still need to have a majority Bitcoin portfolio because you have to hedge against the fact that you're wrong. Bitcoin's market cap is 20 times that of XRP, which means that your XRP position should be equal in terms of market cap potential. So if it's, I'll just use 10 times. So if it's 10 times more and you're a massive XRP bull, your XRP position should be 10% XRP and 90% Bitcoin to compensate for the fact that Bitcoin is so much stronger of an asset by market cap. It doesn't matter which altcoin you're using. You should use some sort of weighted measure to hedge against yourself being wrong, because more often than not, the market is correct in terms of picking the leaders. It's not correct in terms of picking the direction and picking the sector per se. But when it comes to, you know, Bitcoin's at the top for a reason, and Bitcoin's at the top by a large margin. It's not close. It's not like Ethereum could flip it any day now, and Ethereum's the number 2. That's not what's going to happen. Bitcoin is ahead by a lot. So you need to factor that into your portfolio construction, and you need to make sure that your portfolio is heavily weighted to Bitcoin. The least amount of Bitcoin that I would ever hold, and this was advice that I was giving last cycle. It's not really advice that I should be giving this cycle, because we've seen, let's just pull up Bitcoin dominance here for a moment. We've seen how advantageous it is to be Bitcoin heavy. I used to say never go below half. I think now you never want to go below 60% or even 70% of your portfolio being Bitcoin. There's a lot of uncertainty with altcoins, exponentially more uncertainty with altcoins, and there's 10 million of them. There's 10 million fucking altcoins. How are you going to pick a winner? It's impossible to pick a winner. But one thing we do know for sure, Bitcoin's the top dog. We know that for sure. So go hard on the top dog and place bets on your theories. Anyways, I digress. But yeah, so you're talking about bear divs on the weekly for alts. I need a chart, brother, but hopefully I answered some of the stuff with the Michael Saylor rally. I don't care where the demand is coming from. If it's a Michael Saylor rally, then it'll be a Michael Saylor rally for the rest of the bull market. I really don't care. Helen Maxwelly, hello, friend. Welcome to the chat. All right, let's get into Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance continues to climb. There's really no signs of this slowing down anytime soon, which means altcoin season has not started yet, and it will not start until we can get below the 61.89 level. I do think there's a pretty good chance. There's a pretty good chance we get a move up to kind of the 70% level before getting that reversal down. There's also a chance that we don't get the altcoin rally that you're expecting as well. Now, regardless, if Bitcoin goes up to $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, there will be an altcoin rally. But one thing that you need to be increasingly aware of is the fact that there is a growing phenomenon here with Bitcoin treasury companies. So your altcoin season this cycle could be Bitcoin treasury companies. That could be the altcoin season. Now, let's pretend that 90% of the volume goes into that mania where it's all happening on the stock market. There's still going to be a lot of liquidity that comes into the crypto space, and you will get that traditional altcoin season, but it might be one of the weakest altcoin seasons that we've seen, which is in line with the trend here, right? This is in line with exactly what we expect with the trend. This was the largest altcoin season. This is basically what invented the freaking crazy mania of altcoins, was the 2017 ICO bubble. Then we had a rally that was half that. So we could see a rally that might just do the same thing again, which will result in a 20 to 30x if you're in the right coins. But yeah, just if you're really wanting to speculate on the gains and you haven't already done a lot of research on the Bitcoin dominance companies, maybe take a look at the Bitcoin dominance companies as well, because it could be just that those are the altcoins. Bear div on Biddy on the weekly. Here's Bitcoin on the weekly. So you're talking about this div right here. So general rule of thumb that I stick by is I never look at a div that exceeds the period of the bars. So what do I mean by that? So you go to the RSI, you go to the settings. The RSI length is 14. Okay. Now, there's no such thing as rules in trading. These are guidelines, but these guidelines are set up to avoid looking at the wrong things, because you can find divs all over the place. So you got to have some sort of guideline. Okay, well, I will look at divs within this range. And I look at the period range. So the period range stock RSI fresh out of the box is 14. When we are looking at 14, that means that the div has to occur within 14 candles, which is here. So the div does not occur within 14 candles, which means I'm going to ignore this top. I don't consider that to be a bear div. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. But I don't. Also with bear divs too, like I'm anticipating a rally, right? I'm anticipating a rally, a big impulse up to damn near $200,000. You better believe that, you know, RSI is going to take out this high and then it's not a bear div anymore. That's the thing about these macro bear divs, you know, it's going to take nothing. It's going to take nothing to invalidate that div. Meanwhile, you're sidelined waiting for this div to play out, this bear div to play out, and it doesn't. And by the time it invalidates your idea, it's already at $150,000 and you've missed the move. That's another reason to have those kind of guidelines, those period average guidelines for the RSI. Just put it within the period. If it doesn't happen within 14 candles of the period that you're looking at it on, it's not happening. That's just the best way to approach it, in my opinion. Have you been earning on the trading bots? Yes, Helen Maxwelly. The bots, if you guys are interested, we actually got a... where is it? Here in affiliate links, we got historical performances. And if we go and take a look at the most recent trades, we had Bangbox doesn't fire as much as it used to do, which I think is a good thing. It was firing too often, but the last two trades have been good. We're in a successful trade right now. MRI has been on a decent trend since things have kind of shifted since April. We've got 2.5%, 0.5%, 5%, 2.5%, a couple losers in there as well. Hey, it's trading. But the one that I'm kind of excited about is AMX. So AMX has been doing a lot better. Like its gains are more consistent, and when it does win, it wins some bigger wins. So we've got 8% here on AMX, 4%, 5%, a 2% loss, a 1%, 1.5% loss, 2.5% loss, and then a 1% win. Recently, this one's also in a good move right now too. If we go over, turn AMX off. So since the shift, it's been really good. We got an entry right here. Basically at the breakout, it took the entry on AMX, bull box. And if this breaks out, it's going to be a banger of a trade. Banger of a trade. Anyways, the bots, all of our bots are bullish biased. So what that means is they perform a lot better when the market is bullish. That's just, you make so much more money being long than you do making short, in my opinion. You know, short has limited upside. You can only make so much on a short. Being long has unlimited upside. You can get multi-baggers on the long side. So a lot of our stuff is focused long. If you guys are interested, go to blackbox.pro, BLKBöX.pro, sign up for your free Bitcoin trading bot today. And that also gives you free access to the Discord, where you can gain access, where we are sharing all of our trades live, entries, exits, take profits, blah, 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 anything. If you don't know anything about crypto and trading, we have all of the resources there for you, as well as the ability to ask questions. If you got, you know, there's no such thing as a stupid question. If you have a stupid question, we got a very polite answer for you. So come on in, come hang out. And all of this is for free, by the way. So how this works is, if you take a trade on your own, all that we ask is that you take a trade with one of our partnered exchanges, whether it is BitGet, Bybit, or Blowfin. These are affiliate links. We get affiliate commissions from your trades. That's how we power the Discord server. That's how we offer all of these services to you for free. That's optional for manual trades. However, if you want to use the trading bots do require that you are an affiliate. So if you want to come in and see what's up and not trade right away and not be a partner right away, that's totally fine. Come and see what we're all about. But at the point at which you want to start using one of our products do require that you become an affiliate. BitGet does require KYC. Blowfin does not require KYC. We have another KYC, non-KYC exchange coming into the mix very soon called Femex. You guys have probably heard of Femex. It's been around for a really long time. Very reputable, good exchange with no restrictions required for signing up. So anyways, go to blackbox.pro. Links below if you guys are interested. Links are also in the chat. But anyways, let's catch back up with the chat. Liquidated shorts. Hey, how's it going? MG Stu been telling everyone we're going to 70K due to his Stuber first. That's where the question is coming from. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know much about StuTube, honestly. He's fantastic. What I've seen out of the peripheral is his performances are very, very good when we're bearish. Like, if you want somebody to follow when we're in a downtrend, go follow Stu, because we are not going to help you nearly as much as Stu is going to help you in a downtrend. However, not to toot my own horn or anything, he's too much of a bear. He's too much of a bear, and he's looking for shorts because that might just be what he likes. You know, some people just know when a dump is going to happen, and they just trade shorts. They'll even trade shorts the whole bull run up. But if you are a bull, if you are bullish on Bitcoin, if you think that we are in an uptrend, if you think that we're going to achieve these $150,000 to $200,000 price objectives, if you think that the market is turning in favors of demand, then you definitely want to start following those people that are going to share that. Not to poo-poo on Stu. This, like I said, I haven't watched him that much, but what I have seen is an outperformance on the short side and a lack of insight, in my opinion, on the long side. So I do not think 70K is coming. Full stop. 70K, nah, it's done. We ain't doing 70K. We're fucking breaking out. We're going 150 on the next move. All right. Where are we? We were at Bitcoin dominance. So we can talk a little bit about alts, but honestly, it's still not the time. I can't wait to be bullish on alts, but I'm still not bullish on alts. It's just not altcoin season yet. I'm sorry. I wish it was, but it's not. It's not. But we'll take a look at some of the major alts, some of the ones that we're more closely monitoring. We've got a phantom signal on ETH. This is good. This is what we want to see. We just had a phantom signal on Bitcoin. If we go to the weekly, we have this purple candle. Now, what comes after the purple candle? A dump, right? A dump comes after the purple candle. So here we have the purple candle on ETH. ETH will dump in Bitcoin terms, and that will correlate with a pump in Bitcoin. We're looking at the Bitcoin comparative. So we're expecting a dump. It doesn't mean that the fiat price of ETH will dump. I actually don't even know what the price of ETH is in dollars. I don't care what the price of ETH is in dollars, so I never look at it, but let's just take a look for funsies. It's at 2,500, so it could stay at 2,500 while ETH while it's dumping on the Bitcoin pair. If it stays at 2,500 and Bitcoin is pumping, you will see red candles on this chart. So we could get the double bottom that we were talking about, the one that I wanted to see here for ETH. It could be a good buying opportunity for ETH. ETH's performance has been abysmal this entire bull market. It's got to recover at some point, right? So I think the best value zone would be somewhere down here at around 1.8 to 1.7 million sats per ETH. He flips bullish at 115. Good. Yeah. Got to be bullish at 100. Like, God, it's all-time highs, man. It's blue sky breakouts. It's up only environment. We go up. Number go up. Number go up. So that's ETH. Let's take a look at Sol. Sol, you know, if we see something, if we see a pullback on ETH, we're probably going to see a pullback on all alts across the board, particularly in their Bitcoin pair. Sol is currently at 137 sats, 137,000 sats per Sol. I could see us maybe wicking down to somewhere around, maybe even just a clean 100,000, get 100,000 sats per Sol, and then move up above that. Basically, you know, what I need to see, if you really want to stay out of the alts until you're 100% convinced that we're in altcoin season, there's a lot of these downtrend lines, these downtrending lines. Just let it resolve, like let it do its thing, let it pop and do its thing. As soon as it comes above this line, as soon as it gets above this downward sloping line of resistance, it's altcoin season. We're full-blown altcoin season for that, from that point forwards. The same is true here over on Solana. You know, let it meander, let it do its thing. As soon as we pop above that downward sloping line of resistance, it's altcoin season and it's go time. And who cares about nailing the fucking entry? You're going to have many months of just up only crazy melt your face rallies. You don't need to nail the entry on altcoin season. You just need to wait for the right time for it to be definitive that altcoin season has actually taken effect. So watch out for that. Sonic BTC. It's ugly. It's ugly. It's ugly. Another one that looks ugly. I mean, the same thing. Like, just buy the downtrend. Buy the break of the downtrend. When it breaks the downtrend, get excited. Until it does that, there's nothing to be excited about. It's just more down or more sideways. So just keep it simple. There's nothing left to do but wait. Track. Every day it's an announcement of a new innovation. Every day the fundamentals get stronger and stronger for Track, and every day the price goes down. Track has been an annoying one. This, in my opinion, is the chain link of this cycle, and in my opinion, it will do a move that is equal to, or if not greater than, that of chain link, but it hasn't happened yet. It has not happened yet, and that's just because the demand's not here. You know, Bitcoin's at 100K, nobody cares. When Bitcoin gets up to 150 or 200,000, well, now we're going to start seeing the liquidity flow. Cardano really fumbled. They really dropped the ball by saying that they were going to dump Cardano and stables to buy Bitcoin. Really bad move. Says everything you needed to know if you didn't already know that Charles Hoskinson was a complete fucking scammer. Well, now you know, because he's become so complacent with his own project that he's like, you know what, maybe we should get some Bitcoin. Maybe we should get the only coin that's actually gonna make it. So there you go. XRP just hovering around this midline. Everybody was quite angry with me when I said that we were going back down here. Here we are. I remain bearish on XRP below at any point inside of this channel. I'm bearish on XRP. It's only when you get a breakout of this channel that you should be quite bullish on XRP, because XRP does move very quickly, and it doesn't really give you time to, you know, get a good entry. That's just not going to happen on XRP. But as long as we're in this channel, there's really nothing to be stoked about. So just be, what's the opposite of stoked? Be bummed out. Be bummed out on XRP. Or just don't ever touch this stuff, because it's a banker's scam. It's a banker's con. All right. How are we doing on time? We're coming up on the hour, so I think I will close things out with a short little recap on Bitcoin. Where are we going by the end of this daily candle close? I'm still in favor of this candle closing above this high. If this candle closes above this high, let's not make this a line. Let's make this a range. We'll go with the candle body close and the candle body high. So this area right here. If this candle closes above this line, between 110.3 and 110.7, we'll call it. We're gonna break the all-time high on the next candle. So I'm looking at a 2 to 3 day period where we are back above the all-time highs. That will be a true breakout for me. That will be continuation. That will be an impulse, a repricing of Bitcoin to a new level. So fasten your seatbelts because it's going to be a fun one. But yeah, I think we will stop things there. If you guys are interested in joining the Discord, do so through blackbox.pro. Go to BLKBöX.pro. Sign up for your free Bitcoin trading dashboard. And once you're in the dashboard, you got to join community right there. Join Discord. That will auto verify you. You could just use the links down below, but you do have to go through a verification process. If you don't want to do the verification process, you can auto verify by creating a black box account. So with that, I will bid you adieu. Thank you all for joining into the live stream. And until next time, please trade safe.